Hi, welcome to our new video. Today I am starting a new tutorial series about Django fundamentals. It's a complete beginner's guide to start learning Django. Before starting the video, if you are new on this channel, do subscribe the channel and click on the bell icon to receive every new video update. Thanks. Django is a web framework written in Python. A web framework is a software that supports the development of dynamic websites, applications, and services. It provides a set of tools and functionalities that solves many common problems associated with web development, such as security features, database access, sessions, template processing, URL routing, localization, and much more. Using a web framework such as Django enables us to develop secure and reliable web applications very quickly in a standardized way, without having to reinvent the wheel. The development of Django is supported by the Django Software Foundation, and it's sponsored by companies like JetBrains and Instagram. Django has also been around for quite some time now. It's under active development for more than 12 years now, proving to be a mature, reliable, and secure web framework. I have also created a comparison video between Django and Flask. Check it out. I will include link in description. Now, move on to the installation of Django framework. The first thing we need to do is install some programs on our machine so to be able to start playing with Django. The basic setup consists of installing Python, virtualenv, and Django. Using virtual environments is not mandatory, but it's highly recommended. If you are just getting started, it's better to start with the right foot. When developing websites or web projects with Django, it's very common to have to install external libraries to support the development. Using virtual environments, each project you develop will have its isolated environment, so the dependencies won't clash. It also allows you to maintain in your local machine projects that run on different Django versions. It's very straightforward to use it, you will see. Now, let's follow the installation steps. The first thing we want to do is install the latest Python distribution. I have Python March 6th 15. If there's a newer version out there, go with it. The next steps should remain more or less the same. We are going to use Python 3 because the most important Python libraries have already been ported to Python 3, and also the next major Django version won't support Python 2 anymore. So Python 3 is the way to go. We are using Ubuntu OS here. If you are using Windows or Mac, it will create video of installation guide for these OS. Now everyone executes the following commands to install the latest Python 3 distribution. Now check whether Python is installed successfully or not. For the next step, we are going to use pip, a tool to manage and install Python packages, to install virtualenv. First let's install pip for our Python March 6th 15 version. After installing pip, now we can install virtualenv. At this point, if you guys have any question in mind, do ask in comments section. So far the installations that we performed was on the system. From now on, everything we will install, including Django itself, will be installed inside a virtual environment. Think of it like this: for each Django project you start, you will first create a virtual environment for it. It's like having a sandbox for each Django project. So you can play around, install packages, uninstall packages without breaking anything. Now, creating very first project, and we are calling it my project. You can create in any directory in your system. This folder is the higher level directory that will store all the files and things related to our Django project, including its virtual environment. So let's start by creating our very first virtual environment and installing Django. Now, inside the My Project folder, run this command to create virtual environment. Our virtual environment is created. Now before we start using it, we need to activate the virtual environment. You will know it worked if you see in front of the command line, like this. Let's try to understand what happened here. we created a special folder named venv. It contains a copy of Python inside this folder. After we activated the venv environment, when we run the Python command, it will use our local copy, stored inside venv, instead of the other one we installed earlier. Another important thing is that the pip program is already installed as well, and when we use it to install a Python package, like Django, it will be installed inside the venv environment. It's very straightforward. Now that we have the venv activated, run this command on your screen to install Django. Now Django has been installed successfully and you guys can see the success message. To start a new Django project, run this command. The command line utility Django admin is automatically installed with Django. After we run the command above, it will generate the base folder structure for a Django project. Right now, our My Project directory looks like this. Our initial project structure is composed of 5 files. Manage.py, a shortcut to use the Django admin command line utility. It's used to run management commands related to our project. We will use it to run the development server, run tests, create migrations, and much more. Init.py, this empty file tells Python that this folder is a Python package. Settings.py, this file contains all the project's configuration. We will refer to this file all the time. urls.py, this file is responsible for mapping the routes and paths in our project. For example, if you want to show something in the URL, you have to map it here first. wsgi.py, this file is a simple gateway interface used for deployment. You don't have to bother about it. Just let it be for now. Django comes with a simple web server installed. It's very convenient during the development, so we don't have to install anything else to run the project locally. We can test it by executing this command. For now, you can ignore the migration errors, we will get to that later. Now open this URL in a web browser and you should see this page. Hit Ctrl+C to stop the development server. In the Django philosophy we have 2 important concepts. App is a web application that does something. An app usually is composed of a set of models, views, templates, tests. Project is a collection of configurations and apps. One project can be composed of multiple apps or a single app. It's important to note that you can't run a Django app without a project. Simple websites like a blog can be written entirely inside a single app, which could be named blog or weblog for example. It's a way to organize the source code. In the beginning, it's not very trivial to determine what is an app or what is not, how to organize the code, and so on. But don't worry much about that right now. Let's first get comfortable with Django's API and the fundamentals. To create our first app, go to the directory where the manage.py file is and executes this command. Here, learning.in is our app, in which we will write our code, views, and URLs. Now look at the current project structure. So, let's first explore what each file does. Migrations, here Django stores some files to keep track of the changes you create in the models.py file, so to keep the database and the models.py synchronized. Admin.py, this is a configuration file for a built-in Django app called Django Admin. Apps.py, this is a configuration file of the app itself. Models.py, here is where we define the entities of our web application. The models are translated automatically by Django into database tables. Tests.py, this file is used to write unit tests for the app. Views.py, this is the file where we handle the request-response cycle of our web application. Now that we created our first app, let's configure our project to use it. To do that, open the settings.py and try to find the installed apps variable. As you can see, Django already comes with 6 built-in apps installed. They offer common functionalities that most web applications need, like authentication, sessions, static files management, and so on. We will explore those apps as we progress in this tutorial series. But for now, let them be and just add our Learning in app to the list of installed apps like this. Let's write our first view. We will explore it in great detail in the next tutorial. But for now, let's just experiment how it looks like to create a new page with Django. Open the views.py file inside the Learning in app and add the following code. Views are Python functions that receive an HTTP request object and returns an HTTP response object. Receive a request as a parameter and returns a response as a result. That's the flow you have to keep in mind. So, here we defined a simple view called home which simply returns a message saying hello, world. Now we have to tell Django when to serve this view. It's done inside the urls.py file. Now, let's compare your urls.py file with this snippet. I have added a new line, which is serving our view inside our Learning in app. But for now, Django works with regex to match the requested URL. For our home view, I'm using this regex, which will match an empty path, which is our home page. Now, run the server to see what happens next. In a web browser, open this localhost URL, that's it. You just created your very first Hello World view or program. That was the first part of this tutorial series. In this tutorial, we learned how to install the latest Python version and how to set up the development environment. We also had an introduction to virtual environments and started our very first Django project and already created our initial app. I hope you enjoyed the first part. Have you guys any questions in your mind? Do not hesitate to ask in the comments section. Also, do check out our new videos on Python. Stay tuned. And do not forget to subscribe. Until the next video, goodbye.